music, it gets me jazzed up. What is up? Amax Vynora, my friend Alecia Maximo of Vynora AI and also Global Impact Ventures. How you doing, Sit?
What's up, sis? What's up, my Miss Frankie, Haleigh Overseth? How are you, my dear?
Oh, I'm doing so good. Yes, friends, it's me, Haleigh Overseth of Frankie's Podcast Network here on the Vynora and Frankie Real Talk. I don't know, we could say hour, we could say 20 minutes. It goes for whatever, Amax and I decide is the best amount of time in the moment because we are just in the flow like nobody's business.
That's right, girl. Like always, I feel like Haley and I, ever since we've been working together, we always been in sync when it comes to timing, deals, people, partnerships, clients, and it's just a match. I feel like the self-improvement development and the business development go very hand in hand,
Girl, there's so much. I tell you what, I'm first of all so excited for all the stuff that we're working on. I know that
right?
we're juggling a lot. Let's be real. We're trying this being a business lady, entrepreneur, like building your own road out of gravel and some wine. Like, what's her name? Who's that gal whose song I like that I'm thinking of? Jen Wigmore. She's a New Zealand singer gal. Love her. But it's
Mhm.
true. There's Thank you for following me on that ADHD sidebar. I appreciate it.
Of
But it's
course.
true. Being on this journey we're on, there's kind of not a guidebook. There's not a manual. Where are the instructions,
Where
Nora?
are the instructions? Let's take a little bit back. Do you remember back in the early 2000s, it was like, oh, it's cool to be a girl boss and girl boss this, and I'm gonna be in my bag and be a
Where
girl
did that
boss, right?
come from? Where did
I
that
love I
start?
love to hear it. I love to hear it. But nobody really, there's no manual or book, or you can make whatever digital ebook. There's no like A to B manual of the process, the journey, the emotions, the endurance, the vision, the hard work, putting all into being an entrepreneur and being a woman entrepreneur and trying to figure it all out with our divine feminine energy, you know? But that
Oh,
said,
girl.
the title girl boss is very, I would say, mundane. It's more of girl boss, nurturer. We have a lot of things that we are capable of and a lot of titles as powerful women. Right, Haley? What do you think?
We do. We were having that conversation with Kathy just a little bit on the podcast the other day about,
Mhm,
because I think it was her that said it, that, as women, there's a certain kind of energy of being a giver, right? Because of
mhm,
that divine feminine energy we have. And it kind of works against us sometimes in the business realms because you're expected
mhm.
to do work for free or you're expected to, collaborate instead of get paid for what you do. And,
Right.
yes, we do want to move forward into a business world and a sort of community type energetic exchange space where you can, sure, yeah, trade skills, trade energy, but we're in a transitional space as a collective where that's at, as far as like we still
Mhm.
need money to pay for stuff because that's how most of the world works. I know a
Right.
lot of us want to shift into the new paradigm where you can like find different ways to do it and everybody still has everything they need. But
Mhm.
oh, it really is. We're on the human part of the timeline where we're building the new paradigms and there's no
Mhm.
guidebook because we have to write it as we go.
Right, right. And of course, we're like grateful for the guidebooks that are out there. I read a whole bunch of, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and a lot of,
Mm.
finance and trying to balance all of this. But what Haley and I are speaking on is like there's no spiritual, emotional guidebook to all this either, right? Like there's a lot of emotion, that goes into this process with self-development and also creating a business or a business model with going through all the emotions in the process. What were we speaking about yesterday, Haley, about timelines?
Well, I think the thing that was coming to me, if we can just kind of
Yeah.
like shift slightly for a second when you were
Mhm,
talking, is kind of a little bit the idea that, again, yeah, there's not a guidebook, but oh, come on, boomerang. Now I lost it. Guess what? That happens too because you're juggling so much in your brain and we're answering
you're
messages,
right.
we got emails, and which project
It's a
are we
lot.
about?
Right, yeah.
Who is on
Oh,
that project? Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna say, whoever's listening, any girl boss out there, entrepreneur, please help us. Please, we're welcome to any advice, any help on
Join
how
us on the
to,
journey. Oh, that's what
yes,
it is. Okay,
join
so like
us,
there we
come,
go,
come
boomerang.
listen.
You know,
Yeah.
on the topic of like the spirituality and the emotional element, I think
Mhm,
somewhat we are the thing about the shift into the divine feminine energy space that we're shifting into as a collective and kind of I maybe not shifting into, but sort of rebalancing. Whereas the planet has for a long time been very the toxic masculinity and very overly so, right? There's not a lot of balance. So
mhm,
not only are we having to like clear out the kind of toxic masculine energy, and that's not doesn't mean just men. Like women and men both have divine masculine and divine feminine energy, right?
mhm.
And this is not conversations that they have with you when you're talking about business, about how to balance yourself as a human between your ability to attract that divine feminine energy and your ability to take action, that divine masculine capacity, right?
Right.
And
Mhm.
there's not really a guidebook for that conscious business path that we are on, that we are that we're pioneers of, really, right? Like because there's not a guidebook that tells you how to process energy in real time when you're trying to broker a deal, and this human ride is unique for each person and each perspective, and so every bit of advice you can get sure is helpful from everyone because they've experienced that for themselves, but your experience is still yours and your situation is still unique to you, right? So
Yeah.
even for the people who might have, business models that have worked in the past or different things they've done that have worked, you still really need to lean on so much of your intuition and that,
Yeah.
just following that feeling that you have that this is the right thing to do, that it really
Mhm.
does come down to that energy.
It really does, and like learning and trying the best to manage that energy too. It's like it comes with a lot of guts and courage, and it's scary. Whoever
Yeah,
decides to go against the paradigm, it's like you're stepping out of
you
the
guys
matrix
think
and
that
just
Texas
and just
Chainsaw
following
Massacre is
just
scary
following the
again.
feelings, right? What'd you say?
Yeah, everybody thinks Texas Chainsaw Massacre is scary. Try to be a businesswoman in
Oh,
2025.
I mean, shoot, right? It's very
No,
that's
for
very
real.
comparable there.
It's well, it is, right? Like, man, I do just feel like somebody's chasing me with a chainsaw and I don't know where I am and I might trip on
Yeah.
something again pretty soon.
Seriously, it's like we're running and running. We're going down the right path, but we're just like we're waiting until we can like take one of those breathers and be like, okay, it's coming together. It's there. All right,
Okay, we
what's the
got
next
it.
step we have to run down to? We're almost able to outrun the
We've
Texas
almost
Chainsaw
escaped the
Massacre
unseen
has been
villain. We've
chasing
almost
us.
gotten out. I love that. This is great. See, now this is the kind of information that people do actually need. How do you resonate and or relate the thing that you're doing in life to something that is entertaining so that you can make it easier for you to
Mhm,
navigate through it? I
mhm, yeah.
actually do that sometimes. I'm gonna guess what? Moment of vulnerability. So the other day when you and me and Nick were in a meeting, shout out to our buddy Nick of Nick Gibson Cyber, who partners with our friend Jackie. Shout out to our friends. When we were in the meeting, I don't know what made my brain do this. Here's an insight to the inner workings of Haleigh Franki's crazy brain. I was sitting there and you guys were talking, and I just started imagining that we were all like 5-year-old kids dressed up as adults playing a game of business people. And
Right.
I was just, and it just it was just such a like, it made it so funny in my head that like, yep, we're all kind of just a bunch of kids, really. We're all children of this planet. We're all
Mhm,
pretty young in the scope of like just consciousness capacity, right? Because
right.
the universe is infinite and there's a lot of information out there. And here we are, these little humans. And I'm just like, I just thought of us as 5-year-olds wearing like clothes that were too baggy, and like Nick had his headphones on and I was imagining that they were like too big for his head. Like these are the things that happen in my brain in meetings. What goes on in your brain in meetings?
At meetings, I'm usually thinking about how can I help that person business wise, or how can we collaborate together? That's just how my brain works. I'm always thinking about what is the next best flow of abundance in currency and energy exchange with the
Ooh.
people that we are talking to, with the people that we're featuring on Frankie's podcast network and the Vynora Effect podcast. Yeah, so that's where my brain is. I'm always listening to hear, what's their origin story? How did they get started? What type of gap were they looking to fill when they started their business or started selling their solution to their ideal client or ideal customer, and then putting it all together. My brain
Yeah,
just plays tricks on me sometimes, but also it's like to the point of like I like to connect that, so when it comes to, like, remembering their name or remembering what they do, it's easier for me to, like, how we have, like, file cabinets in our brain, I like to call it? You put them in, like, a file cabinet. I was like, "Okay, this person does this person we can work together on this subject," and then you put that in the end file cabinet and on the right side of the brain.
I love that you see it as a file cabinet. That's so like that's fantastic to me. My brain is more like a spider web kind of situation. It's a neural like I actually kind of visualize it as like a web neural network kind of thing, like Millennium
Mhm,
Run. Like that's kind
mhm,
of what I like put things together. So there's mine's a little bit more floaty, which is why I need your assistance because you're very grounded energetically with like your very the file cabinet organization thing is like
mhm,
that's how your brain organizes information. My brain organizes it a bit more like a spider web and like it still makes sense to both of us, right? Again,
mhm.
these are not the conversations that people have when you're a business person to try to help you like partner up with the right kind of person. Like, okay, if my
Right.
brain works this way and your
Mhm,
brain works that way, there's a space where we synergize and harmonize really well. And it's, you might not be able to necessarily draw those dot points on paper, or maybe we just need to call Jackie because she probably could. But like you just need to kind of have that intuitive feel of like, okay, yeah, these things go together with what we're working on, and those people that works into this thing that they're working with, you
mhm.
know. So there is a lot of, and again, this is not a thing that we're sort of taught or that's talked about. There's a lot of communication you have to do internally with yourself in the moment, and I have to do this
Mhm.
too, right? Of am I sensing that I should work with this person, or am I sensing that they're like because you get an intuitive hit of like
Yeah,
there's
it's like
something important about that person.
chemistry.
Where do they fit?
Yeah, it's a chemistry. You know how like in relationships
Mhm.
they say it's like there's chemistry? There's chemistry in every conversation that we have or every type of in common subject or conversation we have with these individuals. And either it could be like you said, like, oh, I have chemistry with this person business wise, but do I work with this person or do I like introduce them to somebody else to work with, right? But it's all
Mhm.
about the chemistry, that's how we all came together. It's all chemistry of like the way that we think, the way that we approach people, the way that we speak to each other, the way that we see the world, the way that we view
It's a
timelines.
frequency
It's
band,
like a
right?
frequency, chemical, chemistry, mind map, Spider-Man map, what have you.
I love it. No, you're totally with me on it. I love this. Like, this is the kind of stuff that, again, people really do need. Because it's, that, oh man, this is one of the things that I do. I'm going to share with the audience because, like,
Okay.
these are what the things that make me be like, okay, I know that me and Vynora, like, Amax, my friend Alecia here, we're on the same frequency band. Here's how I know. Because when I am like, oh shoot, I think I need another 10 minutes before we get together for our meeting. Like, and I was literally on Facebook Messenger in the middle of like typing a message to you when I saw your little dot drop in that you were now in the conversation as well. And I literally was then in the middle of like pushing the backspace button because my brain went, oh,
Mhm.
we're on the same thing, and she's gonna tell me she needs a couple extra minutes too. And then I get your message of the like, hey, can we push it to 5:30? And I'm like, oh hell yes, I got time to make me a corn dog over here. I have time for a snack. Rocking that. Do you know what I mean? Like
I love
we're
it,
so
right.
in sync, we're on that frequency, right? And it's but also there's that other half of it where like I've been so busy doing the things all day and trying to process all the energy of what I'm working on in real time that I haven't,
Aw,
right?
It's like the processing of the energy and then like actually clicking the buttons on the computer to do the work. It's like it's hard to do both all every day, all day.
No, it is. And like here's another thing though. This is something
Uh-huh.
talk to me about this intuition wise, right? Because I was thinking about this before we just got together on our meeting here. Like the intuition element here of not just like how we're synced up and stuff, right? But like kind of what you were just saying about oh boomerang. See, I lost it again. Look at you. I love it. Are we slowing our roll? Do we need to like reshift, reset? Like, how do we?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh. Yours is so
what are you
funny. It
giggling
cracks
about?
me up. It's you. You're such a ball of light. You're so jokes. You're just like
Yes,
I like you're like talking and like you're pausing. You're like, oh wait, I just forgot the thought. Boomerang. It's okay. Just
boomerang. It'll come
let it
back.
come back.
Or it won't, and it doesn't
But
matter. No, that's exactly the thing that I was thinking though. Like, it'll
yeah,
come back into play or it won't. You'll push the buttons on the keyboard or you won't. Like, the thing
right.
about it is that like if you're processing energy and you are following your intuition, right?
Hmm.
Don't beat yourself up about what you think you haven't gotten done yet because maybe it's not time yet. Like, cause
Right.
I just sent a message to Keith. Again, shout out to our buddy Keith Huffman, who we're helping out and starting some cool stuff with. He's good stuff. I sent a message to him on WhatsApp because something came to me for his podcast that we've been talking about to set up of a
Oh
different
yeah?
framing of it and a different
Okay.
idea. And I kind of was like, oh, maybe that's why it hasn't aligned yet for us to have a meeting because we didn't quite have the right framing of what it's meant to be yet, right? So, like,
Hmm.
okay, talk to me about that just a little bit in your mind, how you kind of deal with knowing that there is a vision forward that you have, but knowing that whatever project you're working on, the universe or that project itself, it kind of has a life of its own, and the universe has an orchestration of its own. That if you
Hmm.
don't quite have that energy band like tweaked the right way,
Hmm.
you're not you're not inclined to, or you don't have the impulse to go and hit the buttons on the keyboard. That's like, so this is the thing that I was thinking about with like ADHD or autism, right? Like it really is just dialed into the intuition of what is the actual next thing to do, not what the conventional wisdom says is the next thing to do, but what does that voice inside tell you is the next thing to do? Because that's the thing to do, right? Even
Right.
if it doesn't seem like the right prioritized thing, like,
Hmm.
I mean, your human mind fights with you about that, right? Like, which is the
Yeah.
next step?
Right. It all has to do with like you grounding yourself in being either flight mode or what is it, survival mode? Or is it fight or flight mode, right? When you're getting your
Yeah.
nervous system to balance, it has a lot to do with the decision making. And also not to force anything to happen so quickly because you're in a flight or fight mode. So it has a lot to do with like, especially when it comes to money, revenue, profit, and
Hmm.
finance take keep husband for example, having that intuitive thought of like, okay, maybe there's a delay because I have to take a step back, overview this plan, and come up with a new idea to present to
Hmm.
Keith when he's available to be like, okay, this is a new plan. This is what's going to happen. I had time to sit with it. He agrees. Everybody's happy because you're feeding from like your intuition of like this is the safe thing to do, and like I have intuitive feeling of going down this path instead of like forcing doing the YouTube right away. You know,
Hmm.
there's always a reason why for a delay, and it has a lot to do with like the universe opening up the idea of like you have to position yourself. The universe is doing its work, but we have to do the work as well. You have to
Hmm.
position yourself in to your nervous system of making your body feel safe to receive that information so you can
Hmm.
receive what's coming for you, the abundance, those ideas, that meeting, into the 3D world. So I feel like it has a lot to do with the self, like setting yourself up first, making yourself feel safe, making your nervous system feel safe so the universe can be like, okay, here's a little sprinkle that I've been meaning to give you for the new
No,
podcast plan. Yeah,
that's
and then
just
you're like,
really, I
"Let's
love
go."
that so much. That's so
Right?
brilliant. No, it really is. It's like, oh, okay, you're chill now. So if I give you this opportunity that I've been meaning, like, I love that you say that the universe has been meaning to sprinkle on you. Like the universe is like your fairy godmother that wants to give you all of your wishes and grant them and make them come true. You got
Mhm,
to be able to handle it though, because if they drop a bomb on you that you can't deal with, your nervous system is going to freak out and like this
mhm,
human vessel body might have an aneurysm or something like or
mhm.
whatever. But
Right.
it's true, like you really do have to be in a space energetically where the next good idea, the next really awesome step forward is, I think like it's able to get through in the sense of it's not going to cause more harm than good, right?
Mhm,
And I think that's maybe some of, at least for me, right? Because when you're going through this kind of journey of trying to figure out yourself and trying to kind of re-remember, as Murray would say, right? Murray Angel would say,
yeah,
re-remember your true self, your true connectivity to the all that is. As you're
mhm,
going through that, it does become kind of a challenge for you, like you're saying, with like the decision making and the discernment. And because we have for so long just been sort of trained to believe that like there is a process or a conventional wisdom or a certain way things are done. And it's like, no, everything evolves, right? And I think
mhm,
that's maybe as humans, we've kind of forgotten that. Like we've gotten ourselves a little bit separated from nature. This is a thing I've said on my other podcasts a lot that like putting ourselves in buildings with walls makes us think that we're not animals still, but like we are. We're just sentient, intelligent animals that have, happened to make the internet. Yay us,
mhm,
right? But like we're still part of nature, and nature doesn't follow textbooks. Like textbooks are written about what nature just does because
mhm.
and nature evolves. Things evolve as they like as new needs develop. That's it. I mean, that's like basic evolutionary. Like, yeah, this animal doesn't have this opposable sum enough to do the internet stuff. So guess what? You guys are gonna have to evolve to have all this like dexterity in your fingers, humans, so that you can handle the universe's big gift that it has for you, all of this technology, right?
Mhm,
Like, I think sometimes we like that it is that remembering that we're interconnected in a bigger way in the sense of the things that we're moving towards, even the things that you and I are working on, they're part of a bigger picture and it's part of a broader timeline. Like it's not just our timeline that we're working on. Like what we are working on and building now is going to
mhm.
affect people when this version of me is dead. Like when we're gone, what and the way that humans like perceive that, right? Let's not
Right.
get into like how we live, how we're just everything is here and now, and you are all of your avatars. That'll freak people out. But you know, like
Yeah.
you got to think that like over the course of human development, right? There is a broader plan, and the universe wants to give us really awesome stuff, but we all got to be on board. Like we've all got
Yes.
to be in a good frequency.
Yeah, as in the human form, we have to accept that our higher divine, our higher self is trying to reach out to us and just go and follow through. It's a decision with the intuition and in the human form. But yeah, Haley, you're right, girl. One thing I wanted to say about back to what we were speaking about earlier about having that intuition and the universe giving some sprinkles. I was looking at this quote the other day on Instagram. It stated, "I'm convinced business is a self-development tool disguised as a money-making game." And this
Oh,
really
yeah.
stood out to me because I think that's so true. I feel like making money, get it, money is a flow. It's like a water flow of abundance. It's the energy exchange. So
Mhm.
we were just talking about energy. So we are energy exchangers ourselves. So the more that we build our teams, build our communities, help these people build up their self-development, the more money exchange is going to happen as well. It all goes hand in hand. I feel like a lot of people are struggling with that factor as far as looking at money as just a staple or a power play or a type of status or just the physical dollar itself and not looking at it as the
It
flow
re-
of the abundance and the energy of it and the people that you have to surround yourself with in the
Mhm.
process of the self-development, but also in the process of building a business or a flow to that currency, and it
Can you
flows
read that
within that
quote?
currency.
Can you read
Sorry?
that quote again? Read that quote again that you said.
Okay, I'm convinced business is a self-development tool disguised as a money-making game.
I love that. I like because as you were talking earlier when we just started, I had that kind of thought of like this entrepreneur path journey we're on is just another version of self-development and self-growth and spiritual growth. It's
Mhm,
kind of like how they say like you are a spirit having a human experience, not a human with a spirit, right? Like we're all spirit, we're experiencing what it is to be human. And in this entrepreneur game, that's how we are developing and growing. Like because you like think of like self-improvement, quote unquote, right?
mhm,
And this is like you're totally like I love what you're saying just because I'm so with you. Like the better you get at communication, the more you'll be able to network with people. The more
mhm,
you're able to network with people, the more you can share your ideas with people who can actually help you get them done. And the more people that come around, like more hands make less work, right? Like it really
mhm.
is all a flow of not just currency, but we talk about this with like our friend George Monty, like, hey, what's up, George Monty, True Life Podcast? Got to get him over here. But he
He's
says
the
all
man.
the time, he's the man. He's such a vibe. We love him. Like, but he says all the time about how relationships are the new currency. And I mean, if the things that we have been doing together and building in the like businesses and solutions we're putting together, like, man, if that ain't the truth, relationships are the new
Right,
currency,
girl,
right?
we would have been billionaires by now, okay? To be honest with you, like, think about it, you have 11,000 something followers on LinkedIn. That's $11
Oh, girl,
billion
I'm already
dollars.
almost. That's $11 billion because every single one of you is worth billions. And it's true, right? And I love that you say that because that is a little bit kind of what we do as the visionaries that we both are, right? That we
Mhm,
see the potential in everyone to be that billionaire because we're like, there, you got an idea, you've got passion, you've got energy, you've got something in there, and we can see it. And that's the thing that's really great about the podcast and why I really do like, hey folks, go donate to our podcast stuff to keep listen. There's links in the descriptions below us where you can be members and you can give us tips and you can just like help keep the lights on and or move us forward, right? Tell us in the comments your best thoughts and ways of doing it. But like we come from the right energy and that's the thing. Like
mhm.
we so want to see everybody thrive. We so want all of these like awesome people that we're seeing that have these awesome, amazing ideas. Like we want to give you a space. We want to shout your stuff from the rooftops because there are these new amazing things that people are working on and building and creating. And it's just such a like it's such an amazing thing to see again, like and to just be part of the just this like new earth paradigm that we're all kind of
Yeah,
building
girl.
together, right? And it's like we see that potential for everyone to thrive. Like we can see that it's possible.
Mhm.
And, again, being on this journey, having that kind of vision in and of itself, that's a lot of energy to process. Like I'm sure you
It
feel that
is.
too.
Yes, we feel it, girl. And I know you feel it, especially with all, again, with all that you have going on in your that beautiful big brain of yours. You're like processing all the energy is a lot, girl, but we are powering through it with like the powerful Wonder Womans that we are. And we welcome other Wonder Womans to our team, to our community, to our Nubius community.
Yes. We got to get our friend Kathy in here. Kathy Feather, she's awesome. Like I just feel
Right?
like, girl, we really do just have to have like a love bubbles kind of episode with Frankie and Vynora here. Like, I just
Hyping
like
each
that's
other
what we
up,
do.
girlfriend.
Woo! We'll just end again, hyping up all the awesome peeps that we work with, Like I
Right?
can't wait to tag everybody we talked about here and be like, hey man, we give
Mhm.
you a shout out, like
Yeah.
because we like
Speaking
you.
of,
Not because,
right? Speaking of energy, it's kind of like the people, you know how people like work a 9 to 5 or a job and they don't necessarily, or in any business, they don't necessarily like or enjoy the people that they work with. We have been blessed to partner
Oh,
and work with people that we are on a really good same frequency, and we love to work with them. And all their ideas and their business solutions and everything that they're capable of and the value that they bring to the world is amazing. And it's like so amazing to be a part of that as well. It's like we got very lucky. I feel like it's like a one in a lifetime time chance to be like working with the people that we're working with and building what we're building as well.
okay, but like I'm gonna tell you, like
Yeah.
not lucky, but like we feel lucky, we feel blessed, we feel, and that's what
Yeah.
that appreciation feeling is. And like back
Mhm.
to what you said at the very beginning that you were saying, the idea of timelines. Like it's
Yeah.
when you say once in a lifetime opportunity, what I think, and this is because I have that multidimensional brain of mine, right? Is that
Mhm.
well, we're just on the timeline where we are the best version of ourselves. Yay us, because look at the amazing people that we're able to meet and connect with and work
Yeah,
with and
girl.
partner with. Like this has to be my highest timeline. Look at the incredible people. Look at like the genuinely awesome humans that we get to hang out with and have meetings with, and how much fun and it just like my endlessly curious brain, like I just can't get enough of all the people we work with. I can't get it like, and that's why I'm so excited for us to like get some support and funding so we can do more podcast containers because honestly, I just love being able to interact with those people. I love being able to like get them to tell their stories. You know, I think that that human connection and being able to put that out there and really showcase the brilliant creativity of humans in so many different facets. Like creativity is not just art, it's not just film, it's not just music. Like there's so much creativity in technology, in AI,
Mhm.
in how you do business. There's so much creativity in like the automation workflows that you guys figure out. Like you have to have a creative brain to come up with solutions to the business needs that people
Yeah.
have, and I'm just like, we really are. We're in such a great space where not just that we have people with these great stories and these great personalities and this great energy, but that people who really want to use that energy and that personality and that idea they have to support a thriving community and not just for themselves. Like, we
Right.
really are. Like, oh, girl, I'm so glad
So
we picked this
blessed.
timeline.
Right? I mean, it's been, almost a decade for me being 31, but I'm here for it. I'm happy to be on this timeline. We worked, we did the energy, we experienced life. We have even more life to experience, and I'm on the
We
ride with you, girl. Let's
experience
do it.
life. Girl, isn't
Experience
that
life.
the
That's
truth?
that's
Like,
all we're here. That's all we're here to do. Like
that's all we're here to do.
God put us here with the one question, what are we made for? We are made to build communities, connect with humans, and, help do God's work. And that's what I'm here to do.
I love that. You were here to experience, right? Like, because
Mhm,
only in having the actual experience can you really evolve
mhm,
consciousness and can you really evolve like any of like that's I do love it. That is the brilliance of this human game. And you know
mhm.
what? Alicia Maximo, Vynora, Amax, Sis, friend.
What's up, my girl?
I'm just so honored to like that you
Aw,
decided to come and incarnate as a human with me on this Earth planet, on this timeline,
yes.
to come hang out and play these games with me. I'm just so glad you decided to come along. Like I couldn't have thought of
Thank
a
you,
best,
girlie.
better business partner ever to have
Yes. We
than
taking
Ava.
over the world. We are healing the world. Taking over
Oh,
the
girl,
world.
I
Girl
can't wait.
power. Spice Girls.
Girl, oh my God, like, oh, li listen, boy sauce friends out there, we're gonna get you all in a room and we're gonna make you watch Spice Girls, like Spice World with us.
The
We're
movie,
like,
yeah.
oh yes, oh my God, can we please get all of our awesome partner friends together? Like, how do we talk Jackie into that? Jackie, can we just have like a partners
Like,
meeting
yes,
where
we
we
should have,
all have
like we
a
should,
Spice
like,
World
rent
watch party?
right? We should, like, rent an event room or, like, an event meeting room and have, like, a partnership sleepover movie hangout, and we have to update everyone
Oh
on
my
pop culture.
God. like what we did when we were kids, where you would have like, did you
Yeah.
used to have like sleepovers
Oh
at
my
the
God,
community
yes,
center?
of course, of course. Yes, but
Adults
we have
need
to
to
plan them.
grow. Now we have it. Like that's what we're gonna plan. Our retreats are officially gonna be the adult version of like sleepover parties. We're gonna build blanket forts.
Let's
We're
get
gonna
it.
have sleeping bags. We're gonna have a big old projector, and we're gonna watch movies. We're gonna have like for a little. What there's, you know what? We'll have like an adult prom where we can do like a little prom thing. How fun would that be?
Oh, that would be so fun. I would love that.
Oh,
That
girl,
adult prom seems nice. That's such a
I
good
mean,
idea.
listen. Let's. This is where we gotta like. Man, let us plan the event space. We would have the most fun. Like, we will plan the retreats, and it'll just be like inner child playtime retreats for business people so that we can be the 5-year-olds for just a little bit that are just wearing oversized clothes, like I was imagining with you and me and Nick.
Right.
Like,
Oh my God, yes. Just like chill clothes, baggy clothes. It's like also back to being a woman, right? I'm
mhm,
really looking for like a day I can turn my brain off, where like I have someone handling all the things, like booking the flights or just like us going to the spa and like just not having to think about anything and just turning the brain off and relaxing. And I feel like that
you
plays
know,
a lot with like Murray, what he's been teaching us with like
mhm,
meditation and like EFT EFT tappings, but there's nothing like having someone handle tasks for you and then like you just be like, click, brain off.
brain off. But that's like, okay, so many different things that I have to say for that because I'm so with you. Like, yes, that's why we have the spiritual energy work and stuff. And like, again, yes, shout out Marie Angel. So much love to
Mhm.
you for all the Reiki help and all the like helping everyone remember the value of learning to pause and get to your 0 point energy and ground so you can move forward and turn off your brain. But that is also why it's so, again, we're just so blessed to have so many awesome people in our sphere because you do have like more hands make less work, as they say. And so
Yeah.
it takes a community to do these things because we all need an opportunity sometimes to shut off our brain, you know?
Mhm.
And it's like that is where having all the right partners in the community and the right ecosystem around you comes into play that you need to be able to hand things off to people and trust that they can handle it while you take a break because we are just one human. You know, we talk about that all the time.
Mhm.
Like we're just one person. And
Right.
this hustle culture idea of you doing it all yourself is like, nah, that's not where it's at.
No, not doing that anymore.
No, like that burnout thing is like, what, why? Like, you come to
Right.
this human experience, you're here to experience. Okay, if you want to do the hustle, go for it. We've had that experience though, and like, guess what? I want less of it. I like this, like,
Mhm.
let's work together thing because
Yeah.
the rocks are easier to lift when you're all doing it together.
Yeah, and that's the special thing that we're creating together. It's like we're creating a space for people to bounce or be knowledgeable or at least find out some information on how to balance the spiritual part with the business side as well. It's like, what we're creating is what people need, especially in
Mhm.
today's world where, you're not guaranteed to stay at your job for 60 years. So it's kind of like
Oh,
we're
no.
opening, yeah, we're opening up that space for entrepreneurs, content creators, creatives, artists, actors, whoever you want to
Mhm.
be. It's possible. It's possible with the right team, the partner, the people, and part of our community.
Well, and also that we are in a space of not holding people to being one thing, right?
Right. We have free will. We got to remind the
Hmm.
people, y'all got free will. You're not
You have free will
constructed
to
to
choose.
follow the rules all the time. Well, it just depends if y'all trying to go to jail, but like not encouraging that.
Well, okay, listen, like that's even that is kind of a little conversation. Take a hard left turn for me, but not really, kind of. No, but like there is a little bit to the energy of some of the old paradigms of like just human consciousness that we think the worst things will happen, right? Like the idea of free will, for example. Like, if everyone recognized truly their own free will to choose something in the moment, like, why does everyone think people would do bad things or hurt other people with their free will? Because if you truly understood what your free will means in a space where you are connected to people, you're not going to make a choice to hurt someone else because you understand that you don't want to be hurt. So
Mhm.
if you make a free will choice to be like, I don't want to be that person who does these things for the wrong reasons. I don't want to be the cutthroat business person. I don't want to be the person who's doing it only for the bottom line. I don't want to have to chase dollars all the time, even though I do want a certain lifestyle, right? Like that energy of free will and that understanding of your free will, like there's something of it's free will and it's empathy, I think, right? Like
Mhm.
you have to recognize your free will choice in every moment to do what feels best to you intuitively, but have the empathy to understand
Mhm.
that everyone else is in that space of trying to navigate their intuition and trying to use their free will to make the best choice for themselves, right? So you
Mhm.
have to have that balance of empathy and that compassion to kind of like have the, I don't know, have the right sauce, have the right flow. And I think that people like need to kind of trust each other a little bit more and not sort of assume the worst things all the time, right? Like our
Right,
brains don't
yeah.
need to do the doom scrolling forever.
Right, exactly. Well, yeah, what I meant by that was like be careful with the free will. What I'm saying is like don't go try and rob a bank. I feel like that's kind of
Well, no, but like,
self-explanatory. But like
but that's
or
what it
like
is,
like
right?
like 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 the smart thing would be like, okay, I let me go take out a loan so I can move to another country and live a different cheaper lifestyle and start my business overseas. That's what I'm speaking more towards free will. Like you're not constructed to stay in the system and follow all like the system rules of the matrix. You are allowed to go left, to take a different path as long as it makes
Hmm.
sense to you and your higher self. You have free will to do whatever that will please your higher self or however you want to get there.
And your higher self, like again, the universe, the all that is, call it what you want, right? Like if we are all interconnected and we all are connected to everything, like why wouldn't you want the best thing for yourself and for everyone else? Like why would
Mhm.
the universe that knows what's going on with everyone and that is just like omnipresent and omniscient, why would it not want what's best for you? Like if
Right.
you would want what's best for you and if you would want good things for yourself, why wouldn't your higher self want good things for you or the universe want good things for you?
Right.
And,
Exactly.
and also to trust that like other people, it is again, it goes back to that conversation about nervous systems. Like everyone wants what's good for everyone. Sometimes you just make decisions out of fear because your nervous system is just like not able to handle the energy or process in the moment, right?
Mhm.
And that's again where you kind of have to like really learn to do that discernment in the moment and really be able to train yourself to get to that 0 point energy and really be able to
Mhm.
do that work of knowing yourself well enough to understand what triggers you so that you can again it's like that really is that's a lot of self-improvement stuff that you have to do to have the decision making to intuitively move through business.
Mhm. That's again back to the timeline conversation. Time is an illusion.
Time is absolutely an illusion and we all
Yeah,
get so caught up in it, right?
yeah. I didn't have any follow-up comments about that, but I honestly think where we were a couple months ago and where we are now, time is definitely an illusion.
Oh girl.
All you have to do is put yourself out there with the right energy, like Haley
Mhm.
and I have been doing, and the people will come. The flow of money will come.
Everything will fall into place because everything
Mhm.
is here and now and available to all of us. And if you just like let yourself believe in the infinite possibilities available, the right things will come forth. Don't worry, everything's gonna
Yeah,
be okay, y'all.
it's gonna be all right.
It's gonna
Real
be all
talk. Real
real
talk with
talk.
Vynora and Frankie.
That's
Episode
right.
4.
Episode 4. Well done. 44 minutes long as I'm looking at it too. So like how perfect, synchronized, awesome are we? So rockin' rad. Hey,
Yes, girly.
Nara, sis, thanks for hanging out with me.
Of course. I love speaking with you, my girl, on some real talk. See you next time.